Welcome to the Steve Stine Guitar Podcast, brought to you by GuitarZoom.com. If you want to improve your guitar playing, keep listening. If you want to improve even faster, go to GuitarZoom.com, where you'll find all of Steve's premium courses, masterclasses, and memberships that'll help you quickly and easily improve your playing. Now here's your host, Steve Stine.
All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to explain to you a brief understanding of the basic concept of how modes work, and then I'm going to show you a nice, easy transition to be able to apply it to your fretboard, and then once you've got that, you can apply it to the big picture that we've already built, okay? And we're going to give you some charts, of course, that kind of explain this as well. But basically, if you understand, first of all, let me explain the concept of modes to you as easy as I can. The term mode really just means degree, right? The mode, if you're in a certain mode of your life, you're in a certain place in your life, okay? So modes tend to get blown out of proportion of what it actually means. Now, it's usage, again, usage on the guitar goes on forever, okay? But let's just understand, if we were in the key of C major, what that tells us is we've got 7 different notes, we've got 7 different chords, okay? And we also learned that we can take the C major scale, and by emphasizing the 6th chord, which is a minor chord, it gives us what we call the relative minor. So if we're in the key of C major, and please also remember too, if I play this, do I have to go down here to play A minor? Do I have to go anywhere else to play A minor? And the answer is no. I could stay here. Right? So the one thing that I try and get people to understand is understand the concept and stop trying to think of everything in terms of, well, this position is A minor, but this position is C major. If you're in C major, you're in A minor. You just are, like what we did with the pentatonics. They're all working the same way. C major is anywhere you want to be. A minor is anywhere you want to be, and it's exactly the same as C major in terms of its construct. It's really important to understand that, because I come across people that go, well, Dorian is here and Phrygian is here. Dorian is everywhere. Phrygian is everywhere. Okay? They're all everywhere. So that's what I'm going to try and explain to you. So we learned that there's C major. Okay? C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. We also learned that in that construct of the C major scale, which gave us a major 1, major 4, major 5, minor 2, minor 3, minor 6, it gave us all these chords, diminished 7, right? We could just take that entire construct and just emphasize the 6th chord. Use everything we want, okay? Because we've already built it all. We've already built it all on our fretboard, right? But we're going to emphasize the note A in the chord A minor, and it's going to give us the sound of A minor, right? So if we're in B minor, we're really in D. If we're in F sharp minor, we're really in A, okay? If we're in D minor, we're really in F major, right? That's the premise. So the question is if we can emphasize 1, which is major, and we can emphasize 6, which is minor, why can't we emphasize 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 7? And the answer is we can, okay? But we've already used the terms major and minor. When I say major to you, I mean 1. When I say minor to you, I mean 6. Well, 2 is a minor chord, 3 is a minor chord, 4 is a major chord, 5 is a major chord. What if we wanted to refer to those? Well, we can't just call them major and minor because it would be chaos. Nothing would make sense. So we use these terms we call modes. So 1 is major, but there's a modal technical term for it called Ionian. Now, it seems like a crazy word. Ionian just means 1, okay? That's what it means. Now, we don't walk around going, oh, it's in G Ionian. No, we say it's in G major. The song's in D major. We don't say D Ionian. We just say D major. Okay? 6 is called Aeolian. Now, we don't use the term Aeolian to say minor. We just say minor. Hey, this song's in B minor. If I was going to play... if I'm playing Kryptonite, it's in B minor. I don't say B Aeolian. I say B minor. Okay? But 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and even 7, they need definition because you can't call them major or minor. Think of major and minor as almost like a slang. They've already been used. So we got to come up with a new terminology. That's where these mode names come up.
If you're enjoying this episode and you'd like to support the podcast, go to GuitarZoom.com and consider becoming a premium member. There are 3 memberships to choose from. VIP, which gives you instant access to a library of short but powerful courses as well as new bite-sized lessons each month. There's also Play Songs that gives you step-by-step lessons so you can learn to play your favorite songs fast. And finally, there's Masterclass, university-level training on everything from soloing to music theory, from blues to home recording. For more info about these memberships and all the premium courses available to you, go to GuitarZoom.com. Now back to the podcast.
So Ionian is 1, but we say major. But if you were emphasizing the second chord, let's stay in the key of C for now so it stays nice and easy. If we're in the key of C, but we wanted to emphasize that second chord, which is D minor, we can't say D minor. Because if I said D minor to you, you'd be thinking D is a 6 chord of some other key. What other key? F major. Okay, so we can't say that. We've got to say Dorian. Dorian means 2. It's a big fancy word for 2. If you said D Dorian to me, I would think, oh, we're in the key of C, but you want to emphasize the D minor chord. That's what D Dorian means. That's all it means. Okay? The third chord is E minor, right? It's a minor chord. But if we were emphasizing it, we would call it Phrygian. The third chord is Phrygian. Phrygian to me just means third chord. If you said this song's in E Phrygian, I'd be thinking, oh, it's in C major, but you're emphasizing the third chord, which is E minor. The fourth chord is called Lydian. Okay, so if you were in the key of C and you were emphasizing the note F, you would be in Lydian. Okay, now when I say emphasize, I don't just mean soloing, I mean the song, right? The song is built around the emphasis of that chord. You're using these other chords of the key of C major, but you're emphasizing, you're selling, so to speak, the sound of that F major chord. That's what Lydian is. G would be Mixolydian. Mixolydian means 5. Aeolian is 6, which the slang is minor. And then 7, diminished, is Locrian or Locrian. You can pronounce it either way. Now, I can't even name you a song really that emphasizes Locrian or Locrian. I really can't. You know, that's a bit more of a mystery, but the first 6 are very functional. Okay? So you have to understand that when somebody says something like D Dorian, you don't have to panic. You just have to go, what does D Dorian really mean? Well, D Dorian means we're in the key of C major, but we're emphasizing the chord D minor, the note D, the qualities of that, whatever that is, and whatever else might come after that. You know, songs don't just have one chord. Songs have progressions, and we think about, you know, these chord changes and all these different things. But as a fretboard mastery layout, D Dorian means C major. Okay? So the reason I'm telling you this is oftentimes what people will do is they'll go, okay, well, if I want to be in C major, I'm going to be here. Oh, I'm in D Dorian? Well, I can't play that. I got to move up to D, and I got to play something else. No, you can still be in C major. You've already constructed the entire fretboard to be C major. Okay? Which is D Dorian, which is E Phrygian, which is F Lydian and G Mixolydian and A Aeolian. Okay? So that's the first thing I want you to try and absorb into your brain is understanding that when somebody says Phrygian, it means it's a 3 of some other key. If somebody says Lydian, it means it's a 4 of some other key. So you can reel it all back in and go back to the beginning and build a construct, build a platform from which to work from. Does that make sense? Okay. That's the most important thing to understand, because learning about pitch emphasis and, you know, color tones and all these other things are most certainly things to study, okay? But I find that modes can get people so far in the weeds if they're not just trying to think logically about their situation. Phrygian means 3 of something. If I can figure out what that something is, I can build a platform from which to work from, pentatonically or diatonically, something that gets me through the situation. Okay? If I've got 6 months to think about it, I've got all kinds of time to study and figure my plan out. If I've got 5 minutes to figure it out, or I'm jumping on stage and, I don't have any time to figure it out. I better have a shortcut in my head that I can actually use that can get me to some answer that's going to work. You see, that's the trick, right? And that's where pentatonic always comes in really nice, because pentatonic is a great, so to speak, cheater, because if it's in a minor mode of any kind, Dorian, Phrygian, or Aeolian, you can use minor pentatonic and you'll be safe. If it's major of any kind, you can use major pentatonic. But if you want to bump it to that next step, all you got to do is reconvert it to what major key you're really in and take whatever construct you understand about your fretboard and utilize that. Okay? Next time on the Steve Stine Guitar Podcast. Hey, Steve Stine from Guitar Zoom here. I want to show you something that one of the patterns that I really love to play when soloing is this sort of horizontal 2-string, 3-note per string pattern. And I do it all the time, so I thought, what the heck, I'll just show you how this works and see if it's something that you might enjoy. And give you a couple of different ideas of what you can do with it as well. But right now what I'm doing is I'm playing in the key of G major, which if you know anything about your theory, which means you're actually in the key of E minor as well. So, you know, if you play a lot of rock or metal, you might be in the key of G major or E minor quite frequently. It works for blues as well, because if you know anything about your modes, this lick also works in, or this pattern works in A Dorian, which is a bluesy kind of mode. And again, if you don't know anything about any of that, don't worry about it. Just understand that this thing will work whenever you're in a key of E, doing some sort of hard rock or metal thing, or if you were, you know, your main chord was G. Hey, Steve Stine here from GuitarZoom.com, and thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, can I ask you a favor? Please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Your feedback means more to me than you'll ever know. And be sure to check out my YouTube channels, where you'll find over 1,000 videos to help you with your guitar playing. Thanks again for listening. Stay positive, keep playing, and keep having fun.
If you'd like some help with your guitar playing but you're not sure how to get started, go to GuitarZoom.com and look for the Help Me Choose survey. By answering a few simple questions, you'll get Steve's personal recommendation of the perfect course for you. All this and more is available for you at GuitarZoom.com.